Let me just jump right into the news of the day. Effective immediately, all the regions in the state of California. Recall there are 5 regions that we have defined when we established our stay-at-home order last month. All regions effective immediately are no longer in the stay-at-home order. You recall, again, those 5 regions, northern to southern California, San Joaquin Valley, the Bay Area, and the greater Sacramento regions. The regional stay-at-home order went into effect after a region fell below 15% ICU capacity. In order to come out of the stay-at-home order, as greater Sacramento region did just recently, we project forward over a 4-week period. And we determine ICU capacity either meets or exceeds 15%. In that respect, that I want to remind folks, we're not out of the woods. We're seeing a flattening of the curve. Everything that should be up is up. Everything that should be down is down. Case rates, positivity rates, hospitalizations, ICUs, testing starting to go back up, as well as vaccination rates in this state, but we are not out of the woods. I'll remind people that blueprint was established with purple, red, orange, and yellow tiers. We simplified that blueprint a number of months ago. Many of you, again, recall that blueprint on the basis of the most restrictive tier being the purple tier and the least restrictive tier being the yellow tier. You can see the current status and all the commensurate requirements, modifications, and restrictions that are part of each tier. And I'll remind everybody, if they want to learn more about the tiering and remind themselves or just dust off a little bit of understanding of what red means versus orange, go to the covid19.ca.gov website, covid19.ca.gov website. Purple tier, just as an example, and now that we are in purple tier for those vast majority of counties, means restaurants can open for outdoor dining with modifications. Nail hair salons can open with modifications. Certain youth sports can resume for competition in particular with, again, modifications and considerations. Here's good news as it relates to vaccines, which are the ultimate advancement to addressing substantively those mortality, morbidity rates, and more broadly, this pandemic. We have tripled our rate of administration of the vaccine, and I'll show you a chart that marks the period of time. Here is an example. Just on the 4th, just a few weeks ago, we were doing daily vaccines of around 43,000. On the 15th, just as an example, just a 2-week period, you get a sense, or 10-day period, 131,000 vaccines. We want to see that substantially increase. We have some medium-term goals, long-term goals. We have some short-term goals. We'll be talking more about those, but certainly we want to see those numbers continue to increase significantly. And that will be a combination of many, many factors, a number of which we will discuss here in a moment. We have specifically addressed the issues around simplification by, as I noted a moment ago, clarifying that we believe that the cohort 65 and over needs to be prioritized alongside healthcare workers, first responders, food and agriculture workers, and school staff and teachers. So I want to make this clear. We want to continue to provide a framework of prioritization in that cohort. 65 and over, remember, 75% of the deaths are reflected in people 65 and over. We want healthcare workers to continue, want to work through that cohort, our original tiered strategy consistent with the CDC, and continue to do what we can to vaccinate the vaccinators, our first responders, our farm workers, our critical workers on the front lines in our food delivery system, and our teachers in order to get our schools reopened, as well as our support staff that's so foundational and critical not to ever be forgotten as it relates to making schools work.